In the beginning, this was a very long time ago, perhaps 1,000,000 years ago. Two tribes lived in a very big country. One tribe lived in the north, and one tribe lived in the south. These tribes never met. The land between them was jungle and swamps. The men of the two tribes never went into the dark jungle, and they never went over the deep swamps. The people of the south found fruit and nuts on the trees. They took seeds of grass and ground them. They ground them between two stones and made flavor. They made bread from the flavor. They took eggs from hens and milk from cows. They calved the hens and cows with them, so they got eggs and milk easily. They kept some seeds and put them in the ground. Grass grew from the seeds. They called it corn. They built huts near their cornfields and made a village. They planted trees near the huts, and they got fruit and nuts easily from them. This was their home. At night, they told stories and sang songs. The people of the north did not have corn. They did not have bread or eggs or milk. They killed animals. They were good hunters. They followed the deer and ran very fast. Some deer did not run very fast. The hunters killed those. Then they ate them. These people did not have homes. They made nests like birds, but the nests were not in the trees. They were on the ground, in the long grass. They slept in these nests at night. They did not tell stories. They did not sing songs. The tribes lived like this for a very long time, for thousands of years. Day followed night. Summer followed winter. Year followed year. The people of the south and the people of the north learned new things. The people in the south made tools from stones. They made knives and hammers out of stone. They made stone wheels, and they ground corn into flour with the wheels. They made pots. They baked the pots in fires, and then the pots were strong and held water. They made ovens and baked bread. The people in the north did not have any tools. They killed the deer with their hands. They ate them and left the bones. One day a man looked at the leg bone of a deer. He hit things with it. He thought, "This bone makes my arm strong." He went with the hunters, and he took the bone with him. He hit a deer on the head, and the deer fell. The hunters of the tribe took bones. They hit deer with them, and the deer fell. The hunters called them killing clubs. The world changed. Summers grew cold, and the winters grew very cold. There was ice on the rivers, and there were mountains of ice in the sea. Cold winds came from these ice mountains. Some animals died. Some moved to the south. They looked for warm weather and food. The jungles died. The swamps changed. The people of the north followed the animal to the south. They took their killing clubs with them. A boy called Dom lived in the northern tribe. He was tall and strong. He ran very fast in the hunt. He ran like the man. He had a long killing club. He rubbed it with sand. He rubbed it for a long time and made it white. It was bright in the sunlight. Dom used it in the hunt and killed a deer with it. In the south, the corn did not grow well. The people worked and worked, but they were cold. The cold winds cut them. They made clothes and put them on their bodies. They built huts with thick walls. A girl called Val lived with the southern tribe. She was small and beautiful. She made pots and painted them. She made them well, and she painted bright pictures on them. She sang songs, and her voice was sweet. The ice moved south, and the people of the north went in front of it. They went a very long way. They hunted animals. One day, they found a large number of animals. These animals did not run like deer. The people of the north killed them easily. They made a feast. Men attacked them at the feast. It was a man of the south. Why did they attack? because the animals were their cows. The men of the south attacked, but they did not have killing clubs. The men of the north drove them back. They ran back to their village. The northern men followed them. There were thick bushes round the village. The southern men cut thorns and put them with the bushes. This made a wall of thorns round the village. There was a spring in the village. They got water from it. They kept food in the village, too. The northern men attacked the village. The thorns kept them back. 3 or 4 men cut through the wall, but the southern men killed them. The northern men went away. They did not go far. They made a camp not far from the village. They had the curling clubs, and they were strong. They did not need a wall. They attacked again, and the southern men drove them back. Day followed day. The northern men attacked the village again and again. But the wall of thorns was strong. Again and again the southern men drove back the attackers. There was a wood near the village. It had big trees. It had a stream too. The stream fell from rocks into a pool. Trees leaned over the pool. Squirrels ran along the branches of the trees. Birds sat on the branches and sang. Val loved the wood and the pool. She swam there on warm days. She sat on the rocks beside the pool, and she sang like the birds. Val was in the village. She thought about the wood. She looked at the wall of thorns. In one place it was not very thick. She made a hole and crawled through it. She saw the camp of the northern people, and she did not go that way. She crawled through tall grass. She went slowly and quietly into the wood. The stream ran over stones under the trees. Val walked beside the stream. There were bushes with bright flowers. She took flowers and put them in her hair. The stream sang and the birds sang in the branches. She was very happy. She came to the place of rocks. The stream ran between the rocks and fell into the pool. The trees leaned over, but they did not hide the sky. The sky was blue and the sun shone. It shone on the pool and made the water bright. Val sat on the rock beside the pool. The sun did not shine on the water there. She looked into the water and saw her face and her hair and the flowers in her hair. Squirrels ran along the branches of the trees. They never hid from Val. One of them came down to the ground beside the pool. Val knew this squirrel. It came to her hand, and she gave some nuts to it. She was happy. She touched the squirrel gently and spoke gently to it. Val stayed beside the pool a long time. The birds sang, and she sang too. She looked at her face in the water of the pool. The birds and the squirrels saw her, but people did not see her. She left the pool and went through the wood. She crawled through the tall grass. She came to the wall of thorns and found a small hole. She crawled through it. She was back in her village. Dom attacked the village with men from the north. The thorns kept them out. They were very angry. They said, "We shall get through the thorns. We shall kill the people in the village." Dom was angry and said this too. The northern men swung their clubs and danced a Val dance. Dom danced with the men. They attacked again, and the thorns kept them out again. They said, "We shall wait. The people in the village will soon need food and water. They will come out, and we shall kill them." They killed the animals near the village. Soon, there weren't any animals there. They hunted a long way from the village. One day, Dom fell on some stones in the hunt. He stood up, but he could not hunt with the men. They left Dom with the young boys. He did not like that. He took his curling club and walked slowly through the tall grass. He did not go near the village. He saw the wood and went to it. He found the stream and followed it. He walked in the stream. He saw the bushes with bright flowers. He swung his club and hit the bushes. The flowers fell in the water. The stream carried them through the wood. Dom was a good hunter. He moved very quietly, and he listened. He heard the song of the birds. He heard the squirrels on the branches, and he heard a new sound. It was a strange sound. He listened. It was a girl's voice. She sang a song. She did not know the song, but he liked the strange sound. Dom walked very slowly. He was very quiet. He came to the place of rocks. He looked over the rocks and saw the pool. She saw Var too. She sat by the pool and sang. The flowers came down on the stream and fell into the pool. She leaned over and took them. She put the flowers in her hair. The flowers were very beautiful there. Var looked at her face and hair in the water. She was beautiful too. Dom jumped down from the rocks. Var saw him. She said, "Who are you?" Dom did not understand her words. He said, "Who are you?" Var did not understand his words. She saw the bone, the curling club. She knew then he was one of the northern tribe. Var was frightened. She stood up and ran through the wood. Dom said, "Come back." She did not understand the words. She ran fast. Dom could not run. He did not find her. He looked behind the trees and in the bushes, but he moved slowly, and he did not find her. In the end, he went back to his people. Var was very frightened. She hid behind bushes. She heard Dom and saw him, but he did not see her. He went out of the wood. Then she went back to her village. She crawled through the tall grass. She crawled through the hole in the wall of thorns. The people did not see her. The men of the village met round the fire. One man said, "We have nearly eaten our food, and we cannot get food from our fields. Our enemies are there." An old man said, "Our enemies cannot get through the wall of thorns. We must wait a long time, so we must use our food very slowly." The first man said, "In the end, we shall not have any food. Then we shall be hungry." The old man said, "Our enemies will be hungry too. They have eaten our cows. They will be hungry and they will go. We must wait. They will go. Then we can go out for our village and get food." Var was frightened. The boy in the wood was one of their enemies. She did not go to the wood for a long time. She stayed in the village. But in the end, Var went out again. She went to the wood. She was frightened, and she moved very slowly and very quietly. She looked behind the trees and the bushes. She came to the place of rocks. She looked over the rocks. The boy was not there. She went to the rock beside the pool. The pool was the same, and the rock was the same, but she did not sing. The wood was not the same. Var was frightened. Dom went to the wood again and again. He looked for the girl, but he did not see her. His leg was well now. He could run. Soon he must go out again with the hunters. She must see the girl before that. One day, Dom went to the wood before daylight. He walked beside the stream and came to the pool. It was dark. The sun was not yet in the sky. One or two birds sang quietly. Dom saw a big bush near the pool. She went behind the bush and lay on the ground there. In the hunt, men wait for animals like them. Then they ran and killed them. Dom waited for the girl. He waited a long time. The sun came up. It shone far off in the sky. The birds sang. He saw squirrels on the branches of the trees. He saw rabbits. He saw a fox. The fox killed a rabbit and ate it. Dom lay quietly and did not move. He stayed behind the bush and he waited. Then the girl came. He saw her at the place of rocks. She jumped down. She looked around the place. She did not see Dom. He was behind the bush. She went to the pool. She sat beside the pool and looked into it. Dom watched her. Then he stood up very quietly. He walked very quietly to the girl. He was behind her, very near her, but she could not see him. Var looked into the water. She saw her face. Then she saw a second face. It was Dom's. She was very frightened. She jumped up and ran through the wood. She ran very fast, but Dom was a hunter. Very soon he caught her. He held her in his arms. She fought, but he held her. Dom said, I have caught you, but do not be frightened. I will not hurt you. She did not understand his word, but his voice was not angry. He said again, I will not hurt you. Then she did not fight, and Dom did not hold her. He said, I am Dom. He touched his chest, Dom, and he said, Who are you? She did not understand his strange words, but she knew his meaning. She said, I am Var. She touched her chest, Var. Dom smiled at her. He knew her meaning, and he said, Var. She was not frightened. She smiled too. The next day, Dom went to the wood again. He went to the place of rocks and the pool. He saw Var beside the pool. He called to her, I'm here, Dom. She was not frightened. She smiled at him. He went to her and sat beside her. Sing for me, Var, Dom said. She did not understand his words. She looked at him. So Dom sang. He did not sing well. Var laughed, and Dom laughed too. She understood his meaning now. She sang, and Dom listened. He liked her voice. Dom's curling club was on the ground beside them. Var touched it. She did not like it. Dom said, It was my club. I am a hunter. I kill animals with my club. Var did not understand the words. Dom took the club. She swung it over his head. He was very strong. He gave the hunter's cry. The man of the north made this cry in the hunt. Var was frightened. Dom saw her face. He put down the club and spoke gently to Var. He put his hand on her head. Then she was not frightened. They walked through the wood. There were flowers on the bushes. They saw red flowers and yellow flowers. Dom said, Put the flowers in your hair, Var. She did not understand his words. Dom took the flowers and put them in Var's hair. She smiled. He said, You are very beautiful. She did not understand his words, but she knew his meaning. She said, You are strong and kind. I like you, Dom. Dom went back to his people. His father said, Is your leg well, Dom? Dom said, It is not well yet, father. His father said, It will be well soon. Then you will hunt again with us. Dom said yes, but he was not happy. Dom and Var went to the wood again and again. They walked in the wood and sat beside the pool. Var sang to Dom, and he listened. He was happy then. Var could swim. She went into the pool. Dom could not swim. The water frightened him. He sat beside the pool and watched Var. She said, Come in, Dom. He understood her meaning, but he did not go in. Var swam to the side of the pool. She put her hand up to Dom. He took her hand. Then she poured suddenly. She poured Dom into the water. He was frightened and angry. He said angry things to Var, but she was not frightened. She laughed and spread water at him. Then he laughed too and spread water at her. They left the pool and lay on the grass beside it. The sun shone down between the trees and warmed them. Soon they were asleep in the sunlight. Var's squirrel came down out of the trees. It went to Var. She was asleep and did not see it. Dom woke up. He saw the squirrel. His calling club was at his side. He took it and hit a squirrel with it. He killed the squirrel. Var woke up too. She saw the dead squirrel. She was very sad. She cried. Dom touched her. She turned away. She was angry. She said, You killed my squirrel. He did not understand her words, but he knew her meaning. He said, It is just a squirrel. Dom put his hand on Var's arm. She did not look at him. She held the dead squirrel and cried. Dom stood beside her. She was very sad. He saw that, so he was sad too. I'm sorry, Var, he said. I'm sorry. She knew his meaning. His voice was gentle. She cried, and he put his arm around her. This time she did not turn away. Var went back to the village. She crawled through the hole under the wall. A man saw her. He took her to the old man of the tribe. He said, She went out of the village. She made a hole under the wall. There was not a hole before that. Our enemies can come through the hole. The old men were angry. They said to Var's father, "Watch her, keep her in the hut." Var's father took her to the hut and told her mother. Her mother was very angry. She said, "You must stay in the hut, Var. You will work there, and I shall watch you. You will not go out of the village again." Var was sad. The next day she was very sad, very sad. Thumb was in the wood, but she could not go there. She stayed in the hut, and her mother watched her. Night came. Var's mother and father were asleep. Var went out of the hut very quietly. She went to the wall. The hole was not there now. There were just stones. The thorns hurt her. She could not get out. She went back to the hut and cried. Dawn went to the wood. He called Var, but he did not get an answer. He walked beside the stream to the place of rocks. She was not there. Dawn sat on the rocks and waited. Var did not come. He walked through the wood. He called Var's name. He listened. The birds answered, but Var's voice did not. He took flowers from the bushes. He dropped the flowers in the stream. The stream took them. Dawn came out of the wood. He saw the village with its full of thorns. Var was in the village, but she was a long way from him. He thought, "I killed the squirrel. Is she angry?" He went back through the wood. The birds sang. The squirrels ran along the branches. The red and yellow flowers were on the bushes, but the wood was not the same. Var was not there.